Finance Committee on Tuesday, July 21st to order. And okay, we've done that. Consideration of claims. Chair would entertain a motion for the approval of set forth claims.
Move to approve the bills.
Second.
Okay.
I have a question. Yeah, Chairman. Central Wyoming State Park Association pass-through match that we just handed out, is that $50 or is that supposed to be $50,000?
Your Honor, that is ConocoPhillips. An employee donated $50, and then ConocoPhillips managed that for the skate park. We just received that at the end of June, so we're paying that skate park.
Okay, thank you.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Okay, I would like to request the following claims to be added to the bills to be paid. Mr. Martinez, would you read that and we will follow that through?
Okay, 71 construction Broadway and Monroe concrete project for $103,047.16. Central Wyoming Skate Park Association pass-through match for $50.
Okay, so then go down to the bottom. So the bills to be paid is how much? $419,000. You're not reading this.
I got one here, but
Okay, that's what I want you to read.
I thought that was your job.
No, that's the person that I can't do that.
Okay, this change will consider the bills to be paid in $419,245.87. Payroll liabilities for 7/10/2015 in an amount of $217,119.73. Manual checks in the amount of $309,336.75 for a total to be paid of $945,702.35.
Okay, now are there any questions on the bills to be paid? Okay, Chair recognizes.
What's the software maintenance for Black Mountain software?
Courtney can answer that.
Your Honor, we annually pay Black Mountain software maintenance. We have a software maintenance agreement with them, and we divide that up per fund. So each fund pays a little bit of that $17,000. And we didn't have much of an increase this year. I think it was like 1 or 2%.
Isn't that the software that we use to balance the monies coming in and going out and does all the accounting for us?
Your Honor, that also includes utility billing, building permits, every aspect of our finances, even in municipal court.
Okay. Steve, do we have anything in addition to that?
No, Your Honor.
Kyle? Okay. Okay, I have a motion to, we've first and seconded. Do we have a motion to adjourn? We haven't taken a vote. We haven't voted? Oh, gosh. Oh. Maybe if I followed the recipe book here in front of me, it would help. Okay. Chair would entertain a motion to, see now, let's vote on the claims that we've read and ask questions on. All in favor, say aye.
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 I vote aye. Passes. Any motion to adjourn?
Second.
So ordered.
I now call the July 21st, 2015 regular meeting of the Riverton City Council to order at 7 p.m. Would Councilmember Martinez please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to offer an invocation. Our dear Heavenly Father, we're grateful for the opportunity that we have to meet this evening in doing the business of the city of Riverton, and pray for thy Spirit to guide and direct us, that we might keep the needs of all the citizens of Riverton in mind. We'll be able to create such laws and rules and administer the activities of this community in such a way that every person in it is protected to the greatest degree that we can. We've just been through a very difficult time, and pray that we'll have insight and help from thee to comprehend what's going on, to be strengthened, that we can grow closer together by it, and that we can use this as a means to formulate better public policy. We're thankful for the many blessings that are ours, and grateful for the opportunity that we have to serve, and pray that this evening we'll be able to do just that. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen.
Would the city clerk please conduct a roll call?
Yes, Your Honor. Councilwoman Holly Gibbon. Here. Councilman Kyle Larson.
Here.
Councilman Lee Martinez.
Here.
Councilman Martin Canan.
Here.
Councilman Mike Bailey.
Here.
Mayor John Lars Baker.
Here, and I declare that we have a quorum. The chair would entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda. Do we have anything that we need to add to that tonight? No. Okay.
Motion to approve the agenda. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Well, Your Honor, I guess we do have something to add. Approval or submittal of the airport grant.
Okay. You'll have to.
That's for the task force, for the FAST.
Oh, this.
For that grant.
Oh, the grant that the grant that I assigned. We need to talk about that and approve that, right?
Yes.
Okay. That we've already do that grant that we've already submitted. Where do you want to put that?
You put it right at the end.
At the end.
Yeah, after number 12.
Okay. Okay, I'll write that in here. Okay, so item 13 would be a grant for the air service minimum revenue guarantee with the United States Department of Transportation. Is there anything else that we need to add to this? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Communication from the floor and citizens' comments. Mr. Carr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Eric Carr. As acting vice president of the Riverton Rendezvous Balloon Festival, I would like to offer my sincere thanks to Mayor Baker, Councilwoman Holly Gibbon, and Megan Sims for their participation in the sandwich judging at the pilot tailgate social on Saturday. I think the entire event went off very well, with the exception of the weather that we had on Friday and Saturday, but I think everybody enjoyed the festivities, and I would like to thank everybody for their participation, especially Megan. She has done an enormous amount of behind-the-scenes work for the committee, and it's greatly appreciated, so thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd add to that. I thought that the committee did a great job in putting this thing together and having it all pulled together. There were so many activities going on Saturday that it was difficult to be one person and attend the majority of them. And so it was a great day, a great day for the city of Riverton. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Marty Majerus from Bighorn Co-op. My company asked me to be here just to request the use of Sunset Park for our company picnic. I think they submitted all the paperwork and everything. I'm not sure if this is how I'm supposed to do this or not, but they wanted to be sure that we could use that on August 3rd, Monday evening, and be able to have liquor.
So, yeah, so what you're looking for is an open container permit?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And we want to make sure that we did all the requirements that we needed to, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Is it, do we know, is this all filled out and everything's ready to go on it?
Your Honor, I sent you an email prior to this just to give you a sense of, so in the past, our policy's been if they haven't come in before the agendas have gone out because they advertise these to the public and allow people to come forward, we typically don't allow those to come forth. That was the prior council's direction. That may not be yours. And so when we got this application yesterday, it was a park reservation along with an open container permit. And we realized that there was no way to put that on this agenda, and it would be too late because it's August 3rd and our next regular council meeting is August 4th. And so we said your only option is to come in front of communication from the floor and try to get approval from the council.
Okay, is it appropriate for us to take action at this time?
The council, yeah, you can do that.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to approve the open container permit.
Your Honor, I'll make the motion that we approve this open container permit for Bighorn Co-op.
Second.
August 3rd, 2015.
Been moved and seconded that we approve this open container permit for Bighorn Co-op and the use of the Sunset Park. Any discussion? Mr. Canaan.
This is like the second time in a row, right? I mean, didn't we do this like a week ago by phone?
Yeah.
So I guess I'm getting to the thing is we're gonna try to stick by a rule and have these requests in by a certain time, or are we gonna continue to just do them by phone and stuff like that, not when they're not even on a council meeting? So I guess that would be my concern, is that if we're not gonna set a limit and say they have to be submitted by a certain time, then we're getting to the mode, like I said, with the last one we did by phone, which to me was a little strange when you didn't even have a chance to
Right.
so.
Your Honor.
Mr. Martinez.
And what was there any reason given for the delay of this, for not coming sooner?
Your Honor, it just came in attached to the park reservation yesterday. So there was...
Yeah, but the Bighorn Co-op didn't give you any reason why they were so late.
No.
I was called this morning and asked, I was requested to be here, so it's the first I heard about it.
So the company from Bighorn is from Grable, right?
Main office is in Grable, yes.
And they're the ones theoretically are
I'm the
applying for
location.
this?
I'm the location manager here in Riverton, just on North Federal here, and our main office people asked me to be here tonight just to represent the co-op and assure you, be assured that we've done everything we need to. And
Your Honor, some of the confusion could be, I know what happened for the one last week was that they thought it was part of the catering permits. And as you know, the catering permits were switched to administrative staff approval. And these two, open container and malt beverage, still come in front of the council. They're on the consent agenda. But there may be some confusion with that where people think that it's going to be staff approval, it can be done in a day or two, when in fact open container and malt beverage still go in front of the council. So we have to have them before the Thursday before the meeting so that they go in the packet on Thursday. Otherwise, they don't make the packet, and then we run into issues like this where we're trying to add them, and that's really a policy up to the council to decide how you want to deal with those in the future. I know the prior council, they didn't like the sense that it was just being put on the night before and the day of, and they felt like the public felt like they couldn't come and voice concerns about certain open container permits and certain individuals, and so they discouraged that.
Your Honor.
Mr. Martinez.
I think we ought to send the person from in Grable a memo saying this is the way we have to do it from now on. And I personally, I want to keep the policy the way it is.
Mr. Bailey.
Do we have a specific policy saying that they need to be presented by X days prior to the city council meeting ahead of their event?
Your Honor, we don't have a specific policy that notifies the public of when they need to submit the open container permit. And I do have to say that without having that policy, they don't know our processes. But there are some things like the one previous to this one tonight. She has some life things happening, illnesses and deaths in the family, and just, in addition to what Mr. Weaver said, it just skipped her mind. But when a business invests in a band and other things, we try to be accommodating. So that's why you got the phone call. So I apologize.
Your Honor.
Mr. Larson.
Then you're taking all the precautions that are going to occur on this?
Yes, we are. There'll probably be 35 or so adults, and there will be some children, but there'll be supervision, and open containers will be, you know, I'll be responsible for that.
Okay.
As far as picking up after ourselves, I believe this is probably about the 4th year we've done this at, I believe it's Sunset Park.
Okay.
Between Sunset and Pershing on 2nd Street.
I just don't feel that we need to encumber the public on a policy that we have requested. Open containers, I realize, shouldn't be in the backyard and shouldn't be unsupervised, but we shouldn't throw logs in the front of people that are trying. I mean, I doubt that this would be a difficult problem in the wintertime. They'd have all the time in the world. But in the summertime, you have lots of things scheduled. And I understand that it's probably not this gentleman's fault because he's trying to run a business. But we shouldn't be trying to sidestep and to slow down people from doing the things that we do in the summertime.
My observation is that they are asking for this permit several weeks in advance of the party. And it's just a factor that the city council won't meet again until August 5th that causes the problem. So it isn't like they came in and asked for a permit tonight.
In Your Honor, you know, the other option is, and I hate to keep bringing this up, but just like with catering permits, the open containers and the other ones could be approved administratively, and that would avoid these kind of issues. Because the council only meets on the 1st and 3rd Tuesdays, and so sometimes you have a larger gap in there than normal, particularly when you have 5 Tuesdays in a month. It can be a couple weeks that you have to look ahead and get that on the agenda.
Any further, Mr. Bailey?
Your Honor, I would suggest that we go ahead and vote on this action that we have in front of us tonight, and then I think we need to look at that and take it up one of our future sessions on whether we should let that be a administrative staff decision again for just the consent agenda.
Okay. Anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Mayor votes aye.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, Marty. Any other comments from the floor? Would the city clerk please read the consent agenda by items by title only?
Yes, Your Honor. Approval of the minutes, July 7th, 2015 regular council meeting. Approval of the minutes, July 14th, 2015 work session council meeting. Approval of the minutes, July 21st, 2015 finance committee meeting. Approval of approval of Finance Committee recommendations, July 21st, 2015. Approval of discharge fines for deceased defendants for July 2015. Ordinance number 15-007, second reading. This is proposed ordinance number 15-007, an ordinance amending Title 17 zoning to revise Chapter 17.16 general requirements, adding Section 17.16.080B to setback requirements, exceptions of the Riverton Municipal Code, and repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict therewith and providing for an effective date.
Are there any other items that require discussion? Finance report.
I do.
Oh, yes.
Who's got that?
You want it?
Just read it for
Just read it?
Just read it, please.
I would like to request, Your Honor, we made a motion for the bills to be paid of $419,254.87 payroll for July 10th in the amount of $217,119.73, manual checks in the amount of $336.75 for the total amount of $945,702.35.
Thank you. The chair would entertain a motion for the approval of consent agenda.
Your Honor, I'll make the motion that we approve the consent agenda as written.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Mr. Bailey?
I would abstain from the bills regarding Bailey Enterprises.
Is there any discussion or amendments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. Motion passes. The next item is the county plat of the GF subdivision, Alfred L. Fabricius trustee, Gary Fabricius petitioner. Could we have the Community Development Director's report, please?
Yes, Your Honor. This plat was reviewed and approved by the City of Riverton and Fremont County in 2013, but was not recorded at that time. The plat we are looking at now that you have in your packet is basically the same as it was before. Since it had been 2 years and the mayor and council members have changed, we did request to see this plat again rather than just record it. The county also wanted to look at it again. The petitioner would like to create one lot on the southwest area of the intersection of Country Acres Road and North 8th West. This property is located within 1 mile of the Riverton city limits, therefore the Planning Commission and the council look at this plat. Utility companies were contacted by the county previously and apparently had no issues. The current county planner did request some additional verbiage to be placed on the plat for information and clarification, and those two items are clouded on the map that you have in front of you. The additional items on the plat were reviewed by the Riverton Planning Commission. The City of Riverton Planning Commission recommended approval of this plat on July 9th, and the Fremont County Planning Commission will review this plat on July 30th.
Your Honor.
Mr. Larson.
Is this, do we have utilities out there, sewer or water?
Your Honor, there are no utilities out there.
Okay.
It's my belief that the closest sewer line connection at that point would be the Star Tech building. There was a line run that far. So that would be, you know, like a half a mile down, quarter of a mile down Country Acres.
Okay. But the utilities go out to the honor farm, don't they? Mm-hmm. So it'd be to include that, it'd be just a T underneath federal.
No, it goes right to the Star Tech building.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that was put in by Economic Development 10 years ago, something like that.
Okay, all right.
So there's a potential there that they could tie onto that in some way. Okay.
Your Honor,
Mr. Bailey?
I would move that we approve the plat of the GF subdivision.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Kind of got ahead of ourselves there. Sorry. No further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mayor votes aye and the motion passes. Resolution 1320, the Wyoming Department of Transportation Alternative Program Grant Application for Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA ramps. Could we get a report from the Public Works Director?
Yes, Your Honor. And with your, I would prefer to include both TAP.
Go right ahead.
The Wyoming Department of Transportation receives federal monies for the support of non-road projects to improve and enhance systems for the traveling public. These types of projects can be applied for funding, including safe routes for non-drivers, pedestrians and bicycle facilities, conversion of abandoned railway corridors, scenic turnouts and overlooks, outdoor advertising management, historic preservation, and vegetation management, archaeological activities, stormwater mitigation, and wildlife management. Prior to the TAP program, the Transportation Alternative Program, these were individually managed, and they've all been subsidized into one funding grant program. Applications for TAP are submitted to WYDOT and are reviewed by a committee. These resolutions are dealing with our application to the TAP program for both ADA improvements and also crosswalk visibility improvements. Staff put together an application requesting $115,500 of improvements for ADA ramps along Sunset and West Monroe. There are 17 curb returns and ramps that will be upgraded in association with this application to current ADA standards along Sunset Avenue from Valley Circle to Major Avenue. One of the reasons for the priority of these locations is the amount of pedestrian traffic, and then also the need to improve that roadway pursuant to current ADA regulations. Whenever we improve the road condition, for example with an overlay, we're also required to comply with new ADA regulations. Therefore, we'd like to get a jump on improving those regulations prior to improving that roadway. The second location for ADA upgrades is West Monroe Avenue from Peak Drive to Spire Drive. There are 16 curb returns and ramps in this area that will be upgraded to current ADA standards. The reason why these locations were chosen is because of the new construction of the Willow Creek Elementary School, and naturally it is expected that pedestrian travel and persons with disabilities travel that route will increase, and we want to make sure that we accommodate for that. That encompasses the first application that staff will propose to the TAP program, for the TAP program through WYDOT. That is encompassing resolution number 1320. Resolution number 1321 deals with application regarding crosswalk visibility improvements. As we are all aware, there has been recent concern over the visibility and safety of our crosswalks across town. As a result, staff felt it was expedient to request monies to improve our crosswalk visibility by the installation of flashing crosswalk signs that are push button activated. Now, the TAP program prefers that applicants actually perform a scoping study prior to making their applications. We, as a city, applied for a Safe Routes master plan study in 2010 that was not citywide, but however incorporated the 3 elementary schools located in the center of town. Therefore, I felt that rather than applying for funds to do an engineering study citywide, I felt that the community could be best served by immediately putting in these improvements. Therefore, we are requesting to install 4 flashing crosswalk signals throughout town with this money. The total requested amount is $32,000 from the TAP program to be put towards these flashing crosswalk signals. And put before you prior to the meeting is an example of the solar-powered flashing crosswalk signal that we are going to be requesting to receive funding for installation. Again, these are push-button activated. Each of these grants will be an 80-20 split, with the city being responsible for 20% of the cost of these improvements. Therefore, of the first application of the $115,500, the city would be responsible for $23,100. For the second application for crosswalk visibility of the $32,000, the city would be responsible for $6,400. It is expected that these funds will come from the 1% fund and the general fund. I have verified that we have funds available to support this application and support this matching request. As a side note, for the ADA ramps, there's a total of 33 ramps that will be installed with this grant application, and I believe it's a great bang for our buck. We look at the current example of Pershing, where we installed just a handful of ADA ramps that cost the city over $30,000 for just, I believe it was 7 ramps. Verify that, but I believe it was 7. With the help of this TAP program, we can install 33 ramps for a cheaper price than we were able to install ones along Pershing from Broadway to Federal Boulevard. Again, this staff report covers each resolution. The one before you at this time is Resolution 1320 regarding the installation of those 33 ADA ramps.
Thank you. The chair would entertain a motion for the approval of Resolution 1320.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion that we approve Resolution 1320.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mayor votes aye. Motion passes. Chair would entertain a motion for the approval of Resolution 1321 for the flashing crosswalk lights.
Your Honor, I would move that we approve Resolution 1321.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mayor votes aye. Motion passes.
Your Honor,
Mr. Larson.
how long of estimated time does it take to, will we have these in before school year starts?
Your Honor,
What do you think?
they will not be installed prior to the starting of school. This is due to the administrative process of reviewing the grant applications. I was on the phone with YDOT this morning, and they are coming in 3 weeks to review the site locations and the application. And by December, the funds should be available for use. So therefore, there is a bit of an administrative process to acquire these funds.
I thought the funds were coming from the 1%.
Your Honor, the matching funds would come from the 1%. However, the funds coming from the grant through the TAP program need to receive approval from the TAP committee and be approved by the state of Wyoming prior to us having access to them.
So the 20% is coming from us, and the 80% we're getting a grant for.
Your Honor, that is correct.
One more question.
Mr. Larson.
Is that going to delay when can we install these in the wintertime, or are we going to, remember last winter?
Your Honor, I do remember last winter. For the ADA ramps, I would not recommend installing those during the wintertime. However, with the flashing crosswalk signs, there's no problem with installing those. The ground will be hard. It'll be difficult to drill the post, the foundation for the post, but that's not going to be an issue. Those can be installed as soon as we.
Thank you.
I guess we need to work to this item of business. The FAST Committee, Fremont County Air Service Task Force, has submitted a grant which was due yesterday at 5 o'clock, right?
Tomorrow at 3.
Oh, tomorrow at 3, but we had to do the paperwork by last night. Okay, so at any rate, this grant is due tomorrow. So the FAST committee is put this thing together, but the city of Riverton is submitting the grant, and we'll be the fiscal agent for the administration of that grant. It's in the amount of $650,000, which would, if we got it, generate additional funds for the minimum revenue guarantee. So that would kick that minimum revenue guarantee up to about $2.5 million, and more than that, 2.8, about 2.8. Okay, and they think that that's appropriate because Sheridan's negotiations at the present time for airline service looks like it's going to come in the neighborhood of $3 million for revenue guarantee. So we submitted that, and who knows what will come up. Do we need some kind of a resolution number to go with that?
No, we just need a motion to submit it.
Okay, so I'd entertain a motion to approve the submission of this air service improvement grant.
Your Honor, I'll make the motion that we approve this air service grant.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on this? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. And the motion passes. We are to council committee reports and council members roundtable.
Well, Your Honor, we have the declare vacancy still.
Oh, I'm sorry.
One more.
That's because I put it clear to the bottom. I'm sorry. We have to declare a vacancy. Do you want to give a report on that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
So as everyone knows, on June 30th, Jonathan Fabian submitted his resignation effective July 15th, 2015. And so according to section 2.04 of the Riverton Municipal Code, it states the process that we have to do to fill that vacancy. The reason we are now declaring the vacancy is because last meeting it states it has to be after the effective date, so we couldn't have done it at the last meeting. So once the council has declared a vacancy, the code states we will immediately solicit written applications for such positions from among electors designated a date, after which no application shall be accepted. And so it's my recommendation, I think it was Councilman Martinez too, that we start soliciting tomorrow, and we take applications up till Thursday, August 13th at noon to be turned in. And then those applications would be placed in the packet to go in front of the council on Tuesday, August 18th. And then on August 18th, we would do interviews, and then we would break into executive session. You guys can go back and discuss those. At that point, if the council's ready, you can make an appointment to the vacancy, or you can wait till the next meeting or call a special meeting for that. Based on what it says in the codes of qualifications for being on the council includes being a citizen of the United States, who is a bona fide resident of the city, who has registered to vote and at least 18 years of age and live within the boundaries of the ward or vacant seat. The person selected to fill a vacancy will be required, if so desired, to run in the next general election, which will be in 2016. And that was the same time Jonathan's seat was going to expire, was 2016. So it's staff's recommendation that we declare the vacancy in Ward 1 and advertise immediately, having applications due August 13th at noon.
Thank you.
Your Honor,
We need a motion to declare a vacancy. I'd entertain that motion.
I'll make the motion that we declare a vacancy for Ward 1.
Second. Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Does everybody know where Ward 1 is? In the viewing public, it's east of Federal, right? So anybody that lives east of Federal inside the city limits would be in Ward 1. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mayor votes aye. Now we're to council committee reports. Mr. Bailey.
I attended the Forest Committee meeting, and they did not have anything new on the agenda to present to us, obviously, or we would have heard it tonight. Basically, it sounds like we've got several projects in the works, and they're moving along as to plans, and so everything's looking real good. We have money left in that fund. Sales tax revenue for June was above expectations, so that's a good thing. So we've got some money built up to either save for projects for next year, because I think we're about tapped out for the time frame that we have for this summer. Also, I attended the 1% PAC meeting to see what they had going on. There's some plans to start promoting the 1% sales tax for next election, like November of 2016. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Canan?
Nothing, sir.
Report?
I don't have anything.
Mr. Larson?
Yes, Your Honor, I attended the waste management over in Lander, and the question was asked. They're looking at shutting down as many landfills as they can within 10 miles of a major city. So Riverton would have one, Lander would have one, Hudson wouldn't. And the idea is to save money. The question was asked, what does recycling cost? And everybody looked at each other, and the question was $25,000, $50,000. Recycling costs the county $1 million. And if they discontinued recycling, it would save $500,000. They wouldn't save the total million because there wouldn't be that many people in reduction in forces. So they felt that it was going to be, with that type of savings, that the citizens needed to voice their opinions on whether they should continue in this recycling project, because the prices of plastic, the prices of cardboard, the prices of metal at the different landfills has gone to almost zero. The economy for selling that is just, it's the bottom's fallen out. And so that's what they're looking at, is seeing if we really want to recycle, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't save any, it makes you feel good. The only thing I said to them was, I just hate putting plastic into landfills in Wyoming, because they'll be there when I die and my children die, because they won't degrade. That's all I have, Your Honor.
I don't have any committee reports, but I was going to see if I could talk to a little bit about the shooting this last weekend. Is that okay?
Right ahead.
So if anybody had watched County 10 and all the comments that were on there, it was ridiculously negative. And it's so easy to turn a blind eye compared to confronting the ugliness and the negativity that people spread. It's easy to jump on the bandwagon and agree and just put all the hate on social media sites. And it's very easy to sit behind your computer or your laptop or your tablet and spew complete hatred. I myself was absolutely ashamed and honestly shocked at the amount of negative comments that I read regarding the shooting. It just blew up the news feed. It was vulgar, hurtful. Nothing was nice. And there was no regard whatsoever for the families that were involved. And I think everyone has an opinion, and they're more than welcome to that, and they can take judgment. But it's not helping anything writing it on a social media site and just spreading more hatred over and over and over and getting everybody involved in that. I personally pray for the families of both the shooter and the victims during the difficult time, but spewing the hatred, like I said, isn't helping anyone. As a community, I think we need to come together and not allow the tragedy to define the community, but strengthen it. We need to learn from it, and we need to figure out a way to make it so that it's preventable, that we don't have this happen over and over again. Social media shouldn't be a way that we tear people down with negative comments, but instead come together and make the community stronger and use those to make sure that this doesn't happen. And let's be part of the solution and not the problem, and just be mindful that what you're putting on those social media sites are being read by multiple people. And it's over and over, and that's including the families, that they're gonna have to relive those sites over and over. Thanks.
Thank you. City Administrator's report.
Well, Your Honor, I don't have a whole lot to report. We did have our auditors here last week, and they were in and out quicker than I think we expected. So I think that's a good sign instead of a bad sign. But they seem to be happy and jovial and got all the information they needed. So we're always happy to have audits come and go and get them back with clean findings. And so that's about all I have.
Thank you. Well, up until about 6 o'clock on Friday, or on Saturday, I had a really good day. We launched balloons, tried to. We judged sandwiches. We dodged the rain. We met lots of folks from all over the country who have come here for this balloon rally. I had people stop me and tell me how happy they were to be in Riverton and what a nice community they thought, and Riverton was, and to me that entire day was a very positive, uplifting experience, and the great car show down on the street, and I was just riding really high, and then we have this shooting that takes place at the Center for Hope. I don't understand that. I really don't understand that. And I guess I'm a uninformed participant in social media. I do check my Facebook page now and then, but I never read the comments. If somebody has got a piece of information for me and they can't put their name on it, their real name and their real address and their phone number, I'm not interested in it. There are folks that are very negative. And that's unfortunate. And we should guard our language carefully. That the things that we say accurately reflect what we believe and what our intentions are. Because there's so much hyperbole in the world today. You know, I think we've got to be very careful about that and try to be very positive in everything we do. I have felt for the last year and a half that the city of Riverton was really on track dealing with this situation of homelessness and public intoxication that we face here in this community. I want you to know that Riverton's not alone in that kind of a problem. I've talked to people from a number of communities all around the state and various western states, and they all have they all have this same kind of a problem. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with Native American tribes living next door to you, or it's every community has a group of individuals that are homeless and addicted and in trouble, and communities need to respond to that in a positive way and try to deal with that. And I thought that what we were doing here in Riverton was very positive. Chief Broadhead has made a terrific effort with the Solutions Committee. We have seen a significant change in the way we handle that from the standpoint of law enforcement and social services. The Volunteers of America have made such a significant contribution to our community that I simply cannot understand in any way what happened at that facility Saturday afternoon. It just amazes me. I would encourage city leadership and staff to be very careful in the way they talk about things, and to listen and to help others understand how important it is that we work as hard as we can to deal with the problems that we have in a rational and compassionate way. I just am appalled by that, and I hope there's some way we can make it more positive, and that we can use this as a tool to help sharpen our skills in meeting the problems of the community. Thank you. We don't have an executive session tonight, do we, that I don't know about? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Your Honor, I'll make the motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.